All right, now we are here about to talk some DC TV with a very special guest. We've been teasing this guest for a while, and now he is actually on, and he's going to be joining us for this conversation. We have Jason Inman from DC All Access. Jason, how are you doing?
I am great. Thanks for having me on, guys. I'm excited to channel the Speed Force and talk some DC TV.
Yeah, awesome, it's going to be freaking awesome. So I don't know, like, I guess I kind of want to, because everyone already knows Ozzy and I's thoughts. Anybody who listens to this podcast knows our thoughts on kind of the DC CW shows as a whole. So I guess what I want to get from you, first of all, is what are your thoughts on them as a whole, and then these seasons in particular?
I'll say this. I think this is one of the strongest years for DC TV ever, I think, because I honestly don't dislike any of the shows at all. I think Flash is making some interesting choices right now. I think Arrow is the best that's been since season 2. Legends is the show that gets a lot of crap from people, and I don't understand why, because as a longtime comic book fan, Legends is the one show that embraces the silliness of comic books and makes it work. Mm-hmm. And Supergirl is great because they finally figured out what that show is about, and that show being on the CW is so much better than it ever was on CBS. So to be honest with you, DC TV, if we're just talking, I'm just talking about the CW shows. Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned like Gotham or whatever, but
I haven't watched Gotham since season 1.
Yeah. Oh, those four shows are just, I think, killer.
Yeah. I was not the biggest fan. Ozzy and I were kind of skeptical of Supergirl last season. We didn't really love it on CBS, but it definitely has been stronger this season, and I completely agree with you on Legends, man. That one is probably the most fun I have when I'm watching these shows. It's so entertaining and energetic, and they kind of, because I think they took what made Captain Cold work on those shows, and they applied it to the entire show. Like, they kind of towed that line between cheesy and just comic booky, you know. And I think it really works.
Well, yeah, it's also, too, because especially if you watch Arrow loves to do the thing where they're trying to create a comic book character into live action, and they're like, let's put him in leather, let's put him in black. Mm-hmm. And you're like, no, like, half the point of this is seeing the costumes, come on. And Legends, like, does not care. Legends is just like, you want a vixen? Here's a vixen. You want a Justice Society? Here's a Justice Society. And you're like, and some of those choices you're like, look, the Citizen Steel costume doesn't quite work. You guys need to go back to the drafting board on that.
Completely agree.
But other stuff like Obsidian 100% works. And if you would have told me like 5 years that Obsidian would be in live action TV, I'd have called you crazy.
Yeah, for real. So let's kind of go through some of these shows one by one here. Let's start with Arrow.